Womanese 101. What she says versus what she means. Today's translation, I want an open relationship, submitted by Nigel Diggs. What she says.
I want an open relationship.
What she means.
I want to sleep around, but stay in the relationship.
Big time shout out to longtime supporter Nigel Diggs, who asked this question on Facebook. He asks, why do girlfriends and wives ask, I want an open relationship or marriage? I know so many women who want that. Super crazy. Thanks for the question, Nigel, but I have to respectfully disagree when you say that this is super crazy. Now, 70 years ago, this would have been wacky to even think about, so I'm with you there. But here in 2024, this request is becoming more and more commonplace among modern women, and today's men like Nigel are wondering why. Well, if you've been paying attention to this dumpster fire of a dating market we're currently in, it's not hard to figure out why more and more women want open relationships. And the reason for this is that the unrealistic standards of modern women and everything they require in a man can no longer be found in the same man. Their laundry lists of demands and requirements can only be satisfied by multiple men, and that's the reason dating today is an abject disaster. And modern women have no idea that their quixotic requirements are the main culprit. You see, guys, the men of yesteryear were more than enough to fulfill a woman's wants and needs. Most were physically appealing, as the majority of men were in decent shape in those days. Most were gainfully employed, which assured a young woman a great quality of life, and they were more than adept at taking care of their women by keeping them safe, holding them accountable, and taking care of the family. These men were everywhere, so women were spoiled for choice. But here's the thing, these men are still plentiful, even today. Yes, it's true that the average man today isn't quite as physically fit as the average man back then. And no, most men aren't equipped to handle the absolute chaos that modern women bring into relationships. But by and large, there are plenty of available men who are in decent shape, have great jobs, and would be genuinely good men if given the chance. The problem is that the overwhelming majority of these men are quite literally invisible to most women. So as far as the women of today are concerned, these men don't even exist. I've discussed why most men are invisible to most women before. Take a look and listen. We do. What we need to understand as men is that if you are average, you are invisible to women. And I know that is sobering to hear, but guys, it's the truth. If you are not in the top 10 to 15%, I'm here to tell you, you simply do not exist in a modern woman's world. As far as she's concerned, you're an NPC, a non-player character, as the kids say. But it's the truth, and we see proof of it every day, guys. We see it in our everyday lives. We see it on dating apps. We see it on social media, and of course, we see it on podcasts like Fresh and Fit, Just Pearly Things, the Whatever podcast. We see it when they discuss topics like who cheats more, men or women? Who gets laid more, men or women? Or which gender has the higher body count on average? To a woman, every woman, they always answer, well, it's the men. Men cheat more than women. They get laid more than women. Men have higher body counts than women. And they honestly believe that they are right. They truly believe that the average rank and file man walking around has more sexual experience than the average woman. Well, the reason they think this is because their data set is flawed. And stay with me here. The average woman's data set in terms of dating and relationships, it is always missing the bottom 85 to 90% of men. And the reason for this is because, as I said before, these men don't exist to them. They may as well be invisible because the average man is sexually invisible to the average woman. Let me repeat that. The average man is sexually invisible to the average woman. So when a woman's discussing things like infidelity, sexual activity, and the like, she's only thinking about the top 10 to 15% of men, the men who actually exist in her world. She's not talking about 100% of men, guys. Yes, the top 10% of men cheat more than the bottom 90% of women. Yes, the top 10% of men tend to get laid more than the average woman, though the disparity might not be that wide. But yes, okay, fine. The top guys, the top 10%ers, they get laid more than the average woman. But modern women, but what modern women don't realize, what the modern woman doesn't realize, is that they're only thinking of a fraction of men. rather than all men. And they're too stupid to realize that this is why they sound stupid when they say, oh yeah, men cheat way more than women. The inescapable truth for men here in 2024 is that unless you're a top 10 to 15%er, you may as well be a window because modern women will look right through you. Why else do you think women are always asking, where have all the good men gone? Not realizing that Instagram and dating apps have rendered them completely blind to better than 80% of the male population. And at some point, we have to wonder, will modern women ever finally just wake up and understand why they think there are no good men left? The way things are looking now, I wouldn't count on it. So the short answer to your question, Nigel, is that the reason modern women are asking for open relationships is because they want the excitement that comes from sleeping around while not having to sacrifice the security of a relationship. And it's as simple as that. And by the way, here's how to handle your woman when she requests an open relationship. Take a look.
Hey, let's try an open relationship.
Awesome.
What are you doing?
Calling an Uber.
Where are you going?
Veronica's. Wanna come?
Submit your Womanese requests in the comments, then check out the other Womanese translations.